All right, y'all, today I want to go over the process of loading a KML file to your RC Pro controller. For mapping missions on my side, I'm typically using my Mavic 3 Enterprise, but I also use my Air 3S sometimes. But if I had to choose one or the other, I'm going to use the Enterprise because I can do everything on the controller. And when I'm using the RC controller with the Air 3S, that's more of a tedious process because I have to use something like Litchi to create the file. Then I have to, put it on a micro SD card, load it into the RC controller, then pull it up and it's going to mark all your waypoints for you. But for any reason, if you're out there on a fly and you need to make some adjustments or corrections, it's just not such a quick and easy thing other than being able to adjust the waypoints. With the RC Pro controller with the Mavic 3 Enterprise, I can make any adjustments I need to make. So if something happens with the overlap and I need to adjust that, I can do that. If I need to expand the margin of the entire mapping, I can do that. Even something as simple as changing your altitude, all that stuff can be done on this controller, which is why this will be my choice to use when I'm doing mapping stuff. The process is just easier. Just in case you haven't seen the RC Pro controller, here's a quick glimpse of it. This is how it looks once you first power it on. Another thing I've done to try to make things easier when navigating through the icons on this smaller screen is use a Bluetooth mouse. Sometimes when you're using your finger on the touch screen, you end up going into folders or clicking on icons that you don't want to get into, and it takes a little bit of extra time to kind of navigate back to the home page. Not a deal breaker, but the mouse helps a lot. Now, don't forget, we're going to be importing a KML file. I've already downloaded it on my desktop, put it on a micro SD card, and have inserted that into the micro SD card slot on the bottom of the controller. All right. Jumping into this interface, I'm only going to focus on what we need to do in order to import a KML file. Right here where it says flight route, we're going to click on that. Then on this next page, you're going to see a plus icon at the top. Click on that plus. You're going to go down to the second one. It says import route, KMC, and KML in parentheses. Now it's going to open up your SD card. Depending on what you have on your card, you're gonna have to navigate through the folders and see where everything is being, stored on the card. For me, it's gonna be in the second folder with the numbers. As soon as I click on it, if I scroll down, I can see all of the KML files that I've ever, dropped on this SD card. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna import one that I've already imported. I'm gonna click confirm. It's gonna ask for you to allow access to the disk. We're gonna say allow. I'm gonna tell it allow again. And what we want to do once we get to this screen, we're going to actually import an area route, the one that's in the center. We're going to click on that. It's going to tell me that it already exists. I'm going to just say, hey, let's keep both. Once it opens up, you're going to see it's up here brand new. It doesn't have any map icon or anything. I'm going to click on it. Now it's going to open that whole entire thing up. Now, immediately you can see everything that you need to see about this entire area. The mapping area is 1.3 acres. The GSD is 1.26 centimeters per pixel. You can see the distance of everything, the estimated duration that it's going to take to fly this mission, which is 1 minute and 6 seconds. And it's going to only take 49 photos. So it's a very short and quick flight. The thing is, I haven't customized the settings for this mission that the client wants. So in order to make any adjustments on this mission, what I need to do is click this drop down item right here. And it's going to show you that same information. You're going to click the pencil icon, which is your edit button. Now it's going to open all of your settings over here on the right side. Now, there's a few things I need to make adjustments to immediately. Right here, I'm looking at the drone and the camera option. That's not what I'm flying. So I'm going to come here. It's going to say select camera model. Well, let's select aircraft first. I'm sorry. And we're going to say M3E series for Mavic 3 Enterprise. And now we're going to choose M3E for the camera model. And then once I choose OK, I'm pretty sure that the storage and maybe the time and stuff is going to make adjustments. Right now it's at 1 minute and 6 seconds and 49 photos. Let's see what it does after I hit OK. Boom. Okay, it jumped up to 67 photos, but it's actually only taking 49 seconds now to fly this whole entire mission. That is crazy. Being that it's so fast and not that many photos, I know it must be pretty high up in the air. Let's see, what is my altitude? Okay, my altitude is 153.4. I'm not typically flying that high for mapping missions. I'm usually about 120, 125 range. So what you're gonna see is gonna happen when I lower my altitude from 150 to 125, you're gonna see that it's gonna take more photos and it's probably gonna take more time. I'm gonna click OK. Boom, it jumped it up to only 1 minute and 11 seconds, but now you can see it's all the way up to 99 photos that it's going to take. Now let's just go through and see everything else. You can do, a safe takeoff altitude. You can also adjust the speed. Right now, that Mavic 3 Enterprise can fly this fast and take those photos with no issues, but I don't typically fly that fast. So another thing that's going to change right now is going to be my estimated duration for the flight, because 25.8 miles per hour is a bit fast. I'm usually more so around the 9 to 10 range, so I'm just going to say 10 miles per hour. And we're going to see what it jumps up to. Okay, it only jumped up to 1 minute and 47 seconds, and it's, you know, still pretty fast. You can also change the course angle. The course angle is going to change the direction that the drone is flying when it's taking photos. So right now I'm on 0. So if I change it to, you know, let's say 80 degrees or something like that, now you can see the lines are going horizontal over the property. Some clients, you know, have specific directions they need it to be flown, mainly because you might be doing solar panels or something like that, and they might want you to take the photos the direction that the solar panels are facing. So that would be a reason to make that change as far as the course angle. And I'm sure, of course, with some other things, but from my experience in the little bit of time I've been doing some of these mapping missions, that's been the only reason that they've asked for it. All right, I'm gonna scroll down to advanced settings, because on that page, that's where I have to make some other changes, usually with the side and frontal overlap. My frontal overlap is fine at 80, but they also want 80 for the side. So I'm just gonna click on that and choose 80. All right, and that jumped my photos up a whole lot more. I'm up to 81 photos now, and now it's gonna take 2 minutes and 29 seconds. Another thing that you can change too, you can change your margin. So, you know, if I wanted to expand the region a little bit, I could do a +10, and it's gonna jump up. It's gonna take more photos, but it's gonna give me a little bit more space around the edge of the actual map. It's gonna space it out a little bit more. So that's what that would do. And then at the bottom, it already knows I'm flying a mapping mission, so I don't typically change the camera angle, but I'll show you just to show you. Once I open up the option for customized camera angle, now I can go down and I have these options to say, hey, you know, I need the photos taken at 90 degrees. But if you're going with the solar panels, it might be more so like 40 degrees, depending on how low or how high you have to fly. And then you can also, you know, change your takeoff speed and a couple other options like the aircraft rotate, how you want to rotate along the route. After you go through everything and make sure everything is locked into where you want it to be locked in, only thing you have to do now is click this save icon right there. Once you do that, it's going to save the mission. Now, once you get on site, all you have to do is power up your controller, power up your drone. You're going to go back into that flight route. You're going to load that mission, and you should be good to go. Now, what has happened to me in the field, sometimes I've gotten to some of these places and the KML file that they've sent over to me might have been, you know, spaced out a little bit too much on the edges, and you start to get into the woods or trees that might be overgrown that weren't overgrown when the photos were taken on Google Maps or whatever they did the KML file on. So sometimes I've had to make those adjustments, but other than that, that's been the gist of how I do everything. Okay, easy process for the most part, y'all, but I wanted to show y'all because once I upgraded to the Mavic 3 Enterprise, I had to do a nice amount of research before I found a video showing me a quick and easy way of how to do it. So I'm not saying this is the only way, but this is the simple way that works for me. And being that I'm putting everything on a micro SD card, even if I do need to throw it into my RC controller with my Air 3S, just in case something happens with this drone while I'm out there, I'll have it on the card and it's already ready to go, and I don't have to kind of overthink the process. I hope this helps somebody out there. If you're out there droning and flying, y'all be safe and have fun. And of course, stay on the positive vibes and keep pushing. I'll talk to y'all later, man. Talk soon.